Hello, I'm Courtney. What's up? And today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite finale books. So back in August, I did a video like this talking about my favorite sequels, and I really liked that video, and so I was trying to think of something to film today, and I was like, hey, how about we do another favorite types video and just talk about my favorite finale books. But today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 favorite finale books that I have read so far, and this list could change in like 5 months because there's still a bunch of finale books that I haven't read yet. Crooked Kingdom, still haven't read it yet. I'm working on it, okay? I'm planning on reading it next. But these are the top 5 finale books that I have read so far, and they're my faves. I love them all so very much. Before I get started, there will be spoilers for some of these books. I don't think I'm going to go into much detail, but I am going to be spoiling some things. So if you haven't read the Fifth Wave trilogy, the Shatter Me trilogy, the Raven Cycle, the Lunar Chronicles, or Percy Jackson, be warned, because there's gonna be some spoilers for those series. So now let's just get started, and I'm gonna share with you first my 5th favorite finale book. So coming in at number 5 is The Last Star by Rick Yancey. This is the 3rd and final book in the Fifth Wave trilogy, and I read this back in June, and I overall really liked it actually. Like, yes, that end was like, oh, I still can't even believe that end happened. But overall, I actually really liked it. I found this book very entertaining, and I really liked Cassie in this, and I overall thought this wasn't a bad finale book. I did find this book slow in the beginning, but I found all of Rick's books slow in the beginning, so that really wasn't a shock to me. But this book just flew by, and I just couldn't stop reading it, and it was cray. And then that end happened, and I was like, whoa, what even was that? Like, I still can't even believe that end happened. But it makes sense. But you know, if you've read this book, you know who dies. And it's like, but why? Overall, I give this book 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. I feel like I did. But this is definitely gonna be in my favorites list when I do my favorite books of 2016 video in December. This is definitely gonna be in the list because it had some really awesome action scenes, and it was also really funny too. I was laughing my butt off while reading this book. So if you still haven't read The Last Star yet, I would, because it is a really good finale book, but just prepare yourself for some death at the end. It's pretty depressing. But overall, this is a really fun, entertaining, and action-packed book. Coming in at number 4 is Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi. This is the 3rd and final book in the Shatter Me trilogy, and I read this back in June, but I flew through Ignite Me. I read it in 3 days, which that's very good for me. And I love this book. It was so great, especially in the beginning where the first 100 pages was just Juliet and Warner. It was the best thing on the planet. I do remember giving this book 5 stars. I am definite that I gave this book 5 stars on Goodreads because this is a 5-star book. It was really good, even though the ending could have been better, and there was just some things that weren't really answered. So I definitely think there could be more books in this world, which Tahara, you should do that, because I would love to know more about this world. But if Tahara Mafi doesn't write another book, then I'll be fine. I'll be a little disappointed, but I'll be fine, because this was a good finale book. A lot of things were resolved, just some of the things that I wished were resolved weren't. So that's why I feel like there could be more books dealing with those other problems. But overall, our main conflict is done with, and Juliet and Warner are happily being together and kicking butt, and it's just wonderful. So I'll forever love this book. This book's so good, and plus look at this cover. It is the most beautiful thing in the world. Coming in at number 3 is The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the 4th and final book in the Raven Cycle series, and I marathoned the series back in March, and then I just had to wait a few weeks for this book to come out. And I read it in the beginning of May, and I read it in 2 days, and I bawled my eyes out at the end. I gave this book 5 stars on Goodreads, and also a 100%, because that's how good it was. And I literally say in my Goodreads review that this book could be better. than the Hidden Oracle. Like, I say that, I was just like, you know, this book could actually be my favorite book of the year instead of the Hidden Oracle. Like, that's how good it was. I will say that this book did have some flaws to it, but every finale book has its flaws. I just really haven't been discussing that because I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but there were some really confusing things going on in this book where I would just be like, I don't get this, but all of these books confused me, honestly. Like, all the Welsh mythology was just like, what even? But I overall loved this book. This book was fantastic, and it will definitely be in my favorite books of 2016 list. Coming in at number 2 is Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is the fourth and final book in the Lunar Chronicles series, which is one of my favorite series of all time, and this book was actually my favorite book of 2015. I adored this book, and look at it, it's huge. This was like the best 823 pages ever. Like, that's how good it was. It was amazing, and this book was just so great. Literally everything that I could ask for happened in this book. And then we even got Stars Above, the companion novel, which that gave me stuff I didn't even ask for. And it was wonderful, because there's that little Lunar Chronicles short story that takes place after this, and it was the best thing ever, and God bless you, Marissa Meyer, for that little short story in Stars Above. That just made my life, and this book was just so cute. It gave me all the feels, and it was super action-packed too. Like, oh my gosh, those action scenes though, so good. And finally, coming down to my favorite finale book of all time. This is number 1. This probably isn't gonna surprise anyone. The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. This is the 5th and final book in the PJO series, and this book literally changed my life. Like, it was so good, and just feelings, I felt all the feels, and just this book was everything. It still is everything. Like, I am such trash to this book. I'm such trash to PJO, period. I love Percy Jackson, okay? But the Percivets in this book just made my 13-year-old self cry with joy, because all the Percivets in this book was just so wonderful. Like, I'll never forget the Percivets kiss at the end. Literally, that kiss changed my life. I was like, ah, it happened. They're together. They kissed. Feelings. Oh my goodness. My 13-year-old self was just exploding. This book was great, and I just love how right when you open it, stuff just starts flying everywhere, like 20 pages in, and like people are dying, there's things exploding, and you're just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? And it's insane. Like, this book, so good. This is like one of the best books I have ever read, and I honestly really want to reread it. I almost actually started rereading it back in like March, I think, because I was just in the mood. I'm really gonna reread this sometime soon. I will forever love The Last Olympian and just Percy Jackson, period. Like, do you see that shelf behind me with all those Rick Riordan books? Yeah, if you didn't know already, I'm Percy Jackson trash. I love Rick. Literally, God bless Uncle Rick. Thank you for writing these, and even though I tell myself sometimes that I should stop reading his books, that's such a lie. I will never stop reading his books. I'll be like 80 years old and I'll still be like obsessing over Percivets, honestly. But that, my friends, were my top 5 favorite finale books, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I am Courtney, and I'll see you all next time with a new video up soon, so I will see you then, so bye!